Someone asked if being gay is a choice. No, it is not a choice. According to the American Psychological Association, most people experience little or no sense of choice about their sexual orientation. Homosexuality is not a matter of individual choice. Human beings cannot choose to be either gay or straight, and psychologists do not consider sexual orientation to be a conscious choice that can be voluntarily changed. This seems like it should be intuitively obvious. For example, if you are straight, then right now just stop being attracted to the opposite sex, and start being attracted to the same sex. Just go ahead and make that choice. You'll probably find that this is very difficult, and that's because you can't choose who you find attractive. Even within the gender that you're attracted to, it's not a choice. If you don't think someone is attractive, you can't suddenly find them attractive because you chose to. Now, if you're straight, think back and try to remember when you made a conscious decision to be attracted to the opposite sex. In all likelihood, you never made this decision. That's because it's not something you can decide. You're attracted to the opposite sex because that's just part of who you are, and the same goes for being gay. Next question, when did you turn gay? I don't think I can answer this one because it's based on an incorrect assumption. Asking when I turned gay implies that I became gay at a certain point in time, and prior to that I was not gay. And I would say that's just not true. I can't remember any time in my life where I could honestly say I was straight. However, I wasn't always aware of this. Which leads to the next question, when did you realize you were gay, or was it something you always knew? When I was about 10 or 11, I began to notice that I was attracted to men and not women. It wasn't until I was 13 or 14 that I consciously made the connection, this means I'm gay. Now, for a little while after that, I tried to tell myself maybe I'm just bisexual, but I'm terrible at lying to myself, so that didn't last very long. The next question I'm including for the sake of completeness. How did you know you were gay? This one is pretty straightforward. If you are a man and you're attracted to men, that means you're gay. If you're a woman and you're attracted to women, you're a lesbian. If you're a man or a woman and you're attracted to men and women, you're bisexual. And if you're part man and part woman, or somewhere in between, you've probably got this figured out already. Those are the basic guidelines for determining whether you're gay. I'm attracted to men, and that's how I knew I was gay. Now, if you're asking about any specific milestones that made my orientation more obvious, there is one event that comes to mind. I had a friend who was a couple years older than me, and however it happened, a situation arose where she invited me to feel her breasts. And at the time, I was already questioning my sexuality. It was pretty obvious that I wasn't experiencing any attraction to women. But she offered, and I'm thinking, why not? What have I got to lose? I figure straight men probably wouldn't be so ambivalent about such an opportunity. Anyway, here we are with my hand under her shirt, just sort of feeling around tentatively, and she looks at me, and I look at her, and I'm thinking, yep, those are definitely breasts. And I realized this isn't exciting or stimulating at all. It's just awkward feeling your friend's body like that. In retrospect, I think she may have actually been interested in me. She seemed a bit disappointed afterwards, and we grew distant after that, which is unfortunate. But that was a turning point where it just became undeniable. This whole gay thing is for real. Now, someone else asked if I've ever been attracted to a woman. Not that I can recall, at least not in a way that straight men are presumably attracted to women, and certainly not in the same way that I'm attracted to men. I can appreciate some women's bodies in an aesthetic sense, but it's not arousing. And I know some women who are just really good friends, and if I were attracted to them, I might want to pursue something more. But I'm not, so I don't. Here's a related question. Did you ever try to make yourself straight? Yes, actually. But at the time, I was about as ignorant as most 14-year-olds are. I thought that being gay was a problem, and I figured maybe I could condition myself to like women instead of men. That didn't last very long because it didn't work, and I wouldn't recommend trying it. And once I understood that there's nothing wrong with being gay, I realized this was just totally unnecessary. It's like trying to solve a problem that doesn't even exist. Next question, if you could choose to be straight or gay, what would you choose and why? Well, that's a pretty big if. Even if this were possible, on what basis would you make that decision? What are the factors you would take into consideration? Assuming you're starting from a position where you could just as easily go either way, why not go both ways and be bisexual? If you have a choice in the matter, then why choose to restrict yourself to a single sex? Personally, I think it would be interesting to know what it's like to be straight, but not on a permanent basis. From a standpoint of pure convenience, it's obviously easier to be straight, given the state of society nowadays. Straight people have a clear advantage in that their rights are actually recognized, and they can legally marry their partners. But honestly, aside from being gay, I've always had trouble fitting in with society in so many ways, so for me, this hardly even registers. I don't mind being gay, in fact, I really enjoy it. Why else would I dress like this? Finally, some people think homosexuality is unnatural or against nature, and for this reason they may consider it to be immoral. Well, that is both incorrect and invalid. First, patterns of homosexual behavior have been observed in hundreds of species, including Amazon river dolphins, American bison, black swans, bonobos, elephants, European polecats, giraffes, lions, mallards, sheep, and even fruit flies. These animals have no moral agency. That is, they lack the ability to judge whether it would be morally right or wrong to engage in homosexual behavior. They just do it. What's more natural than that? This behavior is naturally occurring. There's nothing unnatural about it. Yet this has no bearing on whether homosexuality is moral or immoral. It's not moral because it's natural, and it wouldn't be immoral if it were unnatural. What's natural or not has nothing to do with what's right and wrong. The lives of animals are often brutally violent and sometimes quite short. That doesn't make it right. Tapeworms, Ebola, and cancer are completely natural, but they're certainly much worse than being gay. Homosexuality is natural, but nature doesn't have anything to do with morality. This argument from nature is aiming at the wrong target, and it's still off the mark. Way off. In the next video, I'll be answering your questions about butt sex, among other things, so you can look forward to that.